So Caleb here in Nashville hit me and said, since when did the Heisman turn into the best player on the best team award? Diego Pavia had better stats and was way more important to his team than Fernando Mendoza was. Caleb, I would have voted for Diego Pavia. He would have been my number one. I don't think people paid a whole lot of attention to the Heisman Trophy this year. I've got a theory on this, and that is that there was not this breakout star on a brand name team this year that normally, captures your imagination. There was no like Cam Newton or Johnny Manziel or anything like that. And so that's part one. Part two is think about how atypical this year was in that we had all these coaching searches happening during October and November, which took a lot of people's attention. And then, of course, you just got the normal things that would take your attention, like playoff race, a lot of playoff debate. And, obviously the people voting on the Heisman are people who are also going to be locked into talking about that stuff. I just don't think a lot of people paid attention to the Heisman. And then it came to the very end of the season, and they just kind of looked around and said, well, no one's really standing out. Let's just make our decision on Conference Championship Saturday. So here's the one thing you're never going to get me to do. You will never get me to speak ill of Fernando Mendoza. I love that dude. I saw a tweet that was circulating over the last couple of days. Oh, hey, good for Fernando Mendoza, but we'll see how he fits in the NFL. We'll see how that vibe plays in the NFL. Yeah. So the only vibe check needed on Fernando Mendoza is the first play of the Big Ten championship game, where he was he was basically in a car crash on the first play. The impact was that of a car crash, and he got up and played the remaining 59 minutes and 45 seconds of the game in a state that would have ended most people's lives, and he still won the game. Didn't score a ton, but won the game and beat Ohio State, only team to do it, as far as I can tell, in the process. I am just a believer. You don't have to tear one down to build the other up. I believe Diego Pavia should have won this award. I would have voted for him. I don't have to speak ill of Fernando Mendoza to do that. That's what always used to get me about the LeBron-MJ debate. It's like someone says, oh, look, MJ's the GOAT, man. LeBron sucks. I'm pretty sure he doesn't, guys. I'm pretty sure no matter where you land on that argument, the other one was pretty good. Bo versus Herschel. Oh, man, Bo's nowhere close to Herschel. I'm pretty sure he was. It's one of the few aliens that have just been loaned to us, and they happen to play several sports. That was Bo Jackson. So I'm pretty sure no matter where you fall in that debate, the other one was pretty good. In this comparison here, neither one of them had transcendent great seasons or anything like that. They're not going to be remembered as one of the 10 best Heisman seasons, period. There's a lot of merit to Fernando Mendoza. I just happen to think Diego Pavia was the most outstanding player in college football this year. Hey, do me one favor right here. Look down. Are you subscribed to the channel? If you are, thank you. If you're not, please click subscribe. It helps us keep the show free and free of corporate interference. All right, that's it for me. Back to the clip. Last I checked, that's the definition of the award. He was the leading rusher in 7 of his 12 games and still had more passing yards than Fernando Mendoza did and played 1 fewer games. But people weren't paying attention. I'm telling you. Ironically, you know what? I'm not going to complain about it. I know a lot of the folks that have Heisman votes and how they watch this sport. Not all of them. There's a lot of folks who have Heisman votes. Some of them were glued to this every week, and they did their due diligence. And if you did that, I don't really care who you voted for because you did your job. A lot of people have votes and just didn't pay a whole lot of attention. And the reason I know that is because going into Conference Championship Saturday, Diego Pavia was the favorite to win the award. And by the end of the Big Ten championship game, Fernando Mendoza was minus 3,000 to win the award. And so you may think to yourself, oh, dude, they must have beat Ohio State 55-19. He must have thrown for 500 yards. No, he had a pretty good game. They won the game. He was 15 of 23 for 222 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Took a big hit to start the game. But does that really sound like the kind of performance that would have overwhelmingly tilted the scales? No. Unless people hadn't really been paying a whole lot of attention and just decided to cast their vote at the 11th hour with whatever the last shiny object they saw was. That's kind of how he won the award. I'm not saying he's not deserving of it. I'm just saying for anyone who's looking for an explanation about why the margin was so wide, this wasn't even close, that's why. So yeah, I would have been a Diego Pavia guy. I would have voted for him. They don't give me a vote on the Heisman. I don't pay enough attention to the sport to get a vote. Am I salty about it? I'm salty about the concept of it. A little bit. That's on you, Jesse. All right, FanDuel is the exclusive odds provider of this show. I was citing odds there that you could have found at FanDuel. You know, you could have bet Fernando Mendoza the morning of the Big Ten championship game and cashed in. He wasn't even the favorite. He was like a co-favorite, but he wasn't the outright favorite to win the award. Well, that's in the past. They don't let you bet things that already happened. Very poor business model. But what they will let you do is they'll let you bet on the playoffs. And right now, there's the fancy token there. As of right now, 30% profit boost on college football playoff futures bets. So if you think you know who's going to win the whole thing, go bet it. They're going to give you a 30% profit boost. A lot of different odds and ends that you can bet over there. A lot of you don't bet, in which case, if you're curious, you can just go look at what the numbers are. You can like kind of live voyeuristically as your buddies take all the risk, which is fine. I actually consider that one of the great American sports. Watching your neighbor wager uncomfortable amounts of money while you just sit back and you win either way. But that's there right now. FanDuel, the exclusive odds provider of our show.